fucking.
Okay, you guys can take your time. I'm gonna just start fast walking. Gonna close my phone.
Alright.
What is going on?
I don't fucking know.
He was blue the whole time!
Da ba dee ba dee da 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 ba dee da da.
No.
But Jacob, they're blue. But dee da ba da.
That music
Yeah.
video scarred me for life.
To
What do
be
you
honest,
mean?
I still do not understand what this game is.
It's a
idea.
political
Also-
game where you play a president.
And you get to kill all your enemies, Susie.
It's more exciting than it sounds.
Yeah,
Like me.
it's when I first got the game. I am gonna be fully honest with you. I refunded it because I found it boring. My second time buying the game, I played it 5 times. Like 5 times I beat the game. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's
Can you
really
lose
fun.
the game?
You can. There's technically just an end condition. It doesn't mean that it's lost. I guess collectively we can decide these options since my Anton reign is just going to be kind of like an amalgamation of everyone's opinion. It's
1908. The
Okay, wait, while we wait,
Kingdom
I
of
got
Florida.
an interesting debate topic. What is the best Ben and Jerry's ice cream?
shut the
flavor?
fuck up. We're trying to play a game.
Human skin.
You
I have
cannot
to agree
tell
with
me to
Nick on
shut
this
up.
one.
Oh, the best Ben and Jerry's flavor, in my opinion, is fish food.
You know,
The
that is
Stephen
a
Colbert
Chocolate
one.
brownie
I like
fudge.
The
The
Tonight
Tonight-
Show one.
I do like the Stephen Colbert flavor.
No, wait, no, that's whatever it's
Stephen Colbert.
The Tonight Show flavor is
Stephen
pretty good.
Colbert.
Yeah.
I love Stephen Colbert.
My
I like-
dad brought some of that home before it was actually released.
And
Oh, really?
Dad.
I remember that.
The cheesecake or my brother showed me strawberry cheesecake. That's pretty good.
All right, gang.
Gang.
All right,
But-
gang. This is really important.
Gang.
What is our wealth
Alright.
status?
Like
when we were
Zoinks,
born?
gang!
What was our wealth status? Where did we come from? Yeah, were we rich? Were we rich?
I
Very rich.
feel like anything but wealthy. Start as the
No,
underdog.
very rich.
Marlboro Red.
Asher, are you interested in knowing like the actual ramifications
I
of
know, I know. So when you start wealthy, you have the most money, but you have the lowest public opinion. Is that it?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
when you start the poor, you have low money and high public opinion, and in the middle is the middle.
I'd go middle, honestly, to be safe.
You guys
But
want to be
you
a
know,
middle income family?
Very rich. Very rich.
Still,
I wanna increase our social standing in China.
We should, Asher, we should have a fucking poll in Discord for every single one of
oh my
these.
fucking
oh
god.
yeah, we should do a poll.
Okay.
I think that would be a
so
smart choice.
we're gonna just do 1, 2, 3 because.
Also, do you want to stream Pickless Cage? The stream's higher quality.
Oh yeah, let's go to Pickle's Cage.
So we're just gonna
Nicholas.
leave it. Fine, we'll go to.
We should not go here. I don't know if everyone has the gamers only role.
Where do we go to game?
Susie does not have gamers only. You know what?
People go in public, we can just move them.
Hello there.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Or we could go trusted only.
Okay,
Hello there.
here we go.
Is Susie trusted?
Does Susie have trusted?
Oh,
Cage.
even if
that
you-
is a good. I don't think
Yeah, is
Susie
Susie in Pickle's
trusted.
Cage?
Gotta get Susie the trusted role.
Susie is a very trusted person. I think. Marlboro Red.
I would love some Marlboro Red. That actually looked.
Is Susie in Pickless Cage?
I don't
No.
think so.
Susie's in the server. I know Susie's in Pickle's Cage, but not in the trusted.
Remember, she's offline. She doesn't have an online status.
Yeah, so just
Yes.
ping.
Yeah.
Just put Susie as trusted and ping Susie to come to this area.
Yeah.
Is she?
Stop nagging Asher. You're so naggy.
Yeah, so I like to get shit done.
Alright, well, you're actually already role-playing your character to the T, so I think...
Hey,
that's fine.
Susie's here.
Oh wow.
I was
Alright.
on Pickle's Cage, but I wasn't in the fucking like gamers only thing.
Okay. So once again, let's...
I was not allowed.
Once again,
It's a
we
trusted.
need to talk about the answer here. Are we a wealthy, middle, or impoverished family?
Middle.
I'm
Healthy.
going for middle.
I
Middle.
think I'm hearing more middles than anything else. I'm sorry for
Both of the burn bombs and
it.
Wait,
and
no,
nobody
wait,
else
Susie,
has
I didn't hear.
answered the question.
I didn't
Susie
hear
said-
Susie's opinion.
Susie said something around close. She
Parents
said
need to
she
do
said
all-
anything but wealthy. So I'm gonna take it that the middle was a good choice.
I'm feeling poor, but I
Your
think that the go-to is middle.
Your parents
Susie,
named you
as-
Anton. As the only
Susie.
child of a diligent servant, you served quite an ordinary childhood. Life was not bad. You were lucky enough to attend a well-known public school, but frequent fights broke out of the Rain family home. These made you feel quite uneasy. The years passed. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. The kingdom was no more, and the Republic of Swordland was born. This is a subtle way of telling us what Rain prefers. Do they not care at all? Were they worried? Were they happy they had the day off? This is how do we feel about just
Your reign, so I say you just gotta pick whatever you want.
Bet, all right.
I'd say I was.
I'd be
I'd
happy.
be nervous.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous.
I think I'd just be happy.
After graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. You chose law, economics, or history. I want to say
Law.
I'm going to say we studied law,
Yeah, the politicians always study law.
Funny.
except for Donald Trump. During the first year, you attended a lecture with David Whiskey. He was a well-known diplomat from the Foreign Ministry and the son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained how the Supreme Court is obstructing the justice in Swordland. He stated that laws should be applied fairly, and that even the members of the Supreme Court are subject to the same laws. I agree with this principle.
I agree too.
Soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock, as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest along with your best friend Peter Vectorn. That's for you, Ford. You decided to protest with the students.
Yes!
One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Lutheran declared martial law. In order to restore the administration, please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You join the students that slowly march toward the large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. This isn't China shit. A student fell and was trampled as everybody started running away.
Where?
We held my ground.
Hold your
Soldiers
ground.
beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year.
Yeah, you
Damn.
deserve it. You deserve it.
The arrested teachers were replaced by those that promoted conformism to the state. Ulsword turned a blind eye to the things that were happening. You didn't want to stay idle, and you decided to join the Human Rights Group, the Student Council, and the Political Debate Group.
I don't know.
Student council would be funny.
Or the Student Council, find ourselves in the middle.
The student council.
The council was focused on increasing the student involvement in the campus along with partaking in the budget. Through active participation, you gained budget management and leadership skills. In one of the meetings, Peter introduced you to one of his friends, Monica. That's you, Nick, C. Who was a volunteer for the Swordfish League of Women. You were immediately attracted to her.
Not here.
Nixie's not here, by the way.
Oh, what
But
the
isn't-
fuck?
Nick isn't in Piccolo's cage. Last time I checked.
Oh my god! Nick's not here!
God damn it, yeah!
Finally, we have a
God
backlash
damn
for...
But the same thing happened to me. Like I'm in Piccolo's cage, but I'm not in the locked.
No,
Nick's
Nick's not
Nick
even
just
in.
left.
Nick's not even in Piccolo's cage. Nor did they feel the need to message me that they. Hold on, I don't even know what Nick's fucking username is.
Crispy.
Crispy. There we go.
Crispy. You know, I like. Cause I tried to call them Krispy Kreme and they didn't like it.
Man, I wonder why.
Yeah,
that's a
Jake.
funny
I wonder
joke.
why. Hey, Susie. How are you?
I'm tired.
I'm fucking tired too.
Hey, I didn't ask
I
you.
asked
Jake.
Jacob. No, I'm kidding.
You know,
Just
that-
gang up on. Just gang up
that-
on Jake.
I don't give a
Everyone
rat.
getting up on Jacob.
I care what Susie just thinks of him. I don't give a rat's ass what you think of me, Ben, because you're my sibling.
A rat's ass.
And brother.
I love you saying that.
The cards on the table. You were an accident.
Whoa!
You know what? I'm just gonna go. This is awful.
I just chased. Oh, never mind.
Someone kick him. Someone kick him.
I don't. I wish I had the power to.
Do you promise not to hurt my feelings again, Ben?
I can't make any promises.
You didn't give a rat's ass about what Ben said.
It's
Wait,
good to
that's-
see.
Wait, did Crespin leave the server?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. You did.
We have
Yeah.
established this like 2 times.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
I
don't-
love these moments in our conversations where Ford is way ahead of the curve than anybody else because usually it's
I
not.
don't- I don't listen,
Usually
okay?
it's
I
not
don't
like
listen.
that.
It's
Ivan.
never like that.
It's Ivan. Hello, Ivan.
Ivan's here. Come on, Nick, join. Crispy. There we are.
Crispy.
So,
Now we have everyone.
as I was discussing, Nick, you are Monica. You are the woman I've been introduced to by Peter. I admire her.
You are a
diligence.
woman.
You are a woman. The politically charged
You are a
environment
woman.
led you to the Red Youth, the Socialists, the Nationalists, or stay away from political organization. I'm kind of aiming for a standard progressive Anton this playthrough, so we'll say he stayed away from any political organization.
I'm
Aw.
confused. Is socialism a bad thing, really? I
No.
don't. Should I do?
No, not
I
necessarily.
don't think
I'm just trying to keep my Anton kind of in the middle when we start, so we can have.
Because Eugene Debs was a socialist.
The radio relayed the communist general Ricard surrounded Lutheran and his troops, demanding their surrender. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves.
It just sounds like Game of Thrones.
The clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The war has made you
All the
isolate yourself
examples
for a
you could
while.
have used, you used Game of Thrones.
Monica
I love
helped
how-
you bitch. Monica helped you cope. Love grew between you two. However, it's a difficult time for love.
The
must
chaos
end.
descends. Yeah.
Charismatic Colonel Tarquin Soul, that's who is that? Ford orchestrated a sudden attack and brought an end to the war. He wrote a new constitution and restored stability. The people saw him as a savior, a messiah. He formed a United Swordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate. In the first ever elections, you voted
You
for
better
the
voted for
Swordland-
me, you son of a.
United Swordland Party. The USP won the election by a large majority. After the graduation, you kept seeing Monica and noticed her interest to marry. However, a letter arrived in the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service.
Hell no.
It was time to serve your national duty.
I wouldn't.
Sid.
Devastating civil war broke out in the neighboring country, Welland. The distinguished Major Iosef Lancia ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. I think Ivan's playing Iosef, if I'm right.
Oh
It was-
shit. Okay.
They're pinned in the group, is everyone's roles, so please remember them because I'm not going to. It was a very
Yeah.
cold winter night, and you began marching out of the government outpost. You could see your own breath. After several hours marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source. The squad crawled forward in formation, found a spot to observe. A group of refugees made it beyond the border fence. You escorted them or let them slip through.
I don't know.
I'm gonna let them slip through. After the patrol, Major Lancia arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of your command, calling you a disappointment. One of your squad members had reported your actions after several months of scrubbing the floor as a punishment.
Haha. Oh no.
You and Monica decided to share your lives together. After receiving the blessing of her parents, a ceremony was held in Holsford. I can now marry Nick. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job at the governing United Swordland Party. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of the refugee incident, but you still managed. Best opportunity to change the country for the better. Let's go with that.
Alright.
You became the legal assistant to one of the more experienced members of the assembly. You worked long and hard, staying late at night, going through hundreds of pages of legal documents. You were climbing the ladder. September 1933, Seoul strengthened the republic by removing institutions of symbols of the former kingdom from society. Things were looking up for the country. Large economic boom. Happiest of the decade. Good shit.
Yay.
1934, April 2nd, the ongoing legal battle between the Justice Ministry and the Supreme Court put you under a lot of stress, but your significant contribution to the legal case triggered an invitation to meet President Tarquin Sol himself, who offered you a key position. You would become the youngest member of the assembly. You accepted right away. 1938, as the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with your influential inner circle. You needed allies. You brought Peter, that's Ford, as your right-hand man. The birth of your son, Frank, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. I don't even know who Frank is, but... I sacrificed family to improve your position in the party. Is anyone Frank, by the way? I don't know if I wrote that one down.
I'm gonna
No,
look.
I don't think you did.
Alright,
Unless I'm,
we'll go with the executive order and say that Ivan is Frank.
Oh God.
Please,
Oh yeah,
please remember that.
Ivan is Asher's
Along with
son.
Peter, you have done great things to cement your position in the party. Meanwhile, at home, Monica and Frank felt your absence. At the same time, President Still increased his authority over the years. Ongoing ego started to cause strife within the party. Cracks began to show. In 1945, President Sol barely secured a majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the past year, people have been growing discontent with corruption and the worsening of quality of life. Meanwhile, calls for the USP Congress became louder as leadership struggle started to brew.
Do we stay with the president or join the opposition or what? I'd stay out of it, honestly.
Yeah, we'll say that our Anton kind of stayed on the sidelines. The contender for party leadership was Ewald Alfonso, who, if for some reason we meet, will also be played by Ivan. It's highly unlikely. A reformist and talented businessman, magnate, with a growing popularity within the party. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Sol was meeting party members one by one. He approached you two. The president offered you the position of Minister of Justice and Law for the next government if you back the upcoming vote. You can say that we accepted.
Alright.
The party Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the USP were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. By the way, this is the 5th election for Sol. We voted for Tarquin Sol. Unfortunately, Sol lost the leadership vote to Alfonso with a small margin. During the Congress, Sol announced his retirement from politics.
No.
We were troubled by the departure of Sol.
Haha, you're out of power, board.
A month later, your daughter was born, Monica. Named her Dina, that's Jack. She motivated you during a tumultuous period in the party. General elections were approaching. The USP was under the new leadership of Ewald Alfonso. We're gonna say that we did our best not to help Ewald.
Alright.
During the general elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary. He was replaced by a strong opposition figure, Franz Richter, but the damage had already been done. The extensive privatization program proposed by Ewald Alfonso secured an election victory for the USP. Over the next few years, you tried that.
Ben, you're Richter.
Yeah, Ben is Richter.
Yes, I know.
The presidency of Ewald Alfonso saw many bold reforms, but followed by the serious economic recession. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but the unfair system hampered all opposition efforts to win. You thought your party could not survive another crisis. Also, we are going through an economic recession at the moment. Together with Peter, your presence in the USP grew, and you became the face of the new wing of the party. You effectively took over the leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. We say that we blamed Alfonso for the crisis on TV. No, we're going to say that we advised him to step down, taking more of a neutral approach.
That's good.
He didn't take your advice seriously and started to reshuffle his cabinet, but most of the inner circle abandoned him. Your diplomatic attitude made the party vote you in as the leader. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election, with Peter as your running mate.
Yay!
October 1953. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to enact democratic reforms.
Yes, I agree.
People are tired of empty promises. We need fundamental change in our institutions and government. A solid and transparent democracy awaits us. Brothers and sisters, a new constitution and a new age is upon us. On election day of November 5th, millions went out to cast their votes. Chapter 1. President Reign.
Oh, wow, that was pretty interesting.
Is the dialogue finally going to start?
Yep, this is when the actual game of the game starts.
Yay. I'm actually... What?
So, quick reminder, everyone knows their rules, right?
Yeah.
I wrote them down.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do that.
No,
They're pinned in the group, so if you're reading along, then you can figure out what you are running.
Whoa, that's cool.
I'm gonna say we have a fair.
Hey,
Who's
look.
playing right?
Hey,
I'm
Make him look like
hey, look.
Citizen Kane.
We're gonna say
It's
that we have a very
Al Capone.
standard look.
Oh, make him
Can you-
look like Citizen Kane.
I'm not gonna make it look like
You
Citizen
should-
Kane. You can't
It's
make
Al
me.
Capone. Be like Al Capone.
Untouchables.
I have. Did we watch The Untouchables, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Right.
He's talked to me about it before, so he must have at some point.
I had to watch it for an assignment.
All right, this is actually pretty important.
The Godfather.
This
I
is
watched
the
The
election
Godfather.
promises. If I avoid, like, while I'm during the game, if we stray away from the election promises, it will significantly harm my public opinion.
All right.
So we're going to promote a free market.
What?
Or- what do you mean?
Unbelievable.
We're going to try to kind of side with probably the East. I don't.
If we're
see
going
us-
east, we should probably do planned economy then, right?
Oh wait, is
Oh,
West is Arcadia,
West
east
is-
is.
dude, I fucking got my whole directions mixed up. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, Arcadia is on the west. Okay, that makes
We
sense.
can very much still go planned economy in West.
No,
You're
we're
doing
not.
great.
Stop saying
What?
planned economy. We're not going planned economy.
Why not?
Plan economy also.
Why are we going planned economy?
You're voting.
Why? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it, Asher? Tell me.
It's time to vote, guys. We vote what we go for.
Okay.
I don't.
Oh
I don't
shit.
We're going planned economy, I guess. And for
I'm voting
immigration.
for the West. No.
Wait, okay, we're voting west, but we're going planned. Keep in mind, the west is capitalist Arcadia. It says it right here in the text.
Yeah.
Capitalism. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Come on.
All right.
Hey,
Do you know how many planned
So
economies?
I just want to
the United
acknowledge that we were a planned economy siding with a capitalist country.
What's an easy
No,
game?
we should do it. We should do the free market. Come on, free market.
No.
Should we bring this to a
Frame-
poll?
I
States?
don't
think we
care.
Yeah,
Official
we
vote.
make a vote.
Alright, let's
The
just go-
party
let's just-
vote.
Let's
Alright.
just go down the.
Make a poll for all three. We can make a different chat Nicolas Cage specifically
I
for
could-
this.
Yeah, can you?
Make it for like the Suzerain. Like
I was
Suzerain.
just gonna suggest we do a roll call down the line. Just tally the votes. But okay.
That might be a little bit easier just to roll call it instead of making a whole new channel.
I can open up a
Alright,
quick
alright.
Google Doc.
Okay, Ben, what do you think we should do? Free
Wait,
market
hold
or
on a
planned
second.
We
Okay.
need the formality. We need the formality just in case another
Mhm.
free
Yes.
thing comes up. we need the
Free
formality.
planned, west, east, neither. Relax, heightened. Okay. So, do we want to go down and say our opinion for all three, or do we want to do it one at a time?
One
Uh,
at a time, my friend.
Yeah, one at a time. So this is just for economy. Starting with Ben.
I don't care.
Okay, we have
That's-
a,
Say
That's
something.
not an option.
the
We have a
worst
blank.
possible
Blank.
thing you could have said.
Free market or planned economy, Ben?
Let's just go free market, I guess. I don't really care.
Alright.
but
Free
whatever.
market. Vote for
One free.
market.
Okay, Ford,
Planned.
Planned.
Cool.
Ivan,
Planned.
Planned.
I didn't even need to hear that. I knew it already. Jacob, free.
free. Yep, I've been.
It's tied.
Nick.
Planned.
Oh, Pog. I'm also planned.
Okay, we're going with planned. That's the majority.
What about Susie's?
Doesn't matter. Susie's vote
Yeah,
does not
we only
count
have two
anymore.
votes.
We're,
That's
we're
Susie.
already a majority.
It's okay. I can be ignored.
Alright, so now we're doing diplomacy.
Alright, so west, east, or neither. The west is like basically the U.S. And the east is
The
The
Soviet.
Soviet
The
Union.
Soviets, pretty much.
the Soviets. Yeah, that's a good.
If
way
we're doing a
But
planned
less
economy,
bad.
yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
go
They're
down the
not
list.
quite the
So
Soviets.
I'm just gonna let everyone know going into this planned economy. For the most part, is very like you could pretty much associate it with like state-owned shit institutions. So like, the industrial, the medical, prisons, all of that's gonna be state-owned, ideally.
Okay.
So do understand that going through diplomacy as well.
Right. So what do we do?
So Ben, how do you feel about diplomacy? Are we going west, east, or neither?
State-owned is on. I'm trying to remember what state-owned is like. It's the. Asher, is state-owned communist or
State-owned is
or-
communist, yeah.
okay? I'm gonna go east then.
Ford.
West.
Ivan.
What?
East. Pressman.
East.
I'm voting neither.
Susie.
If East is the equivalent to the USSR, I think we should do it for the laughs.
All right, that's
East it is,
4
east
for
it is.
East then.
East wins. All right,
And-
so immigration. This one's pretty.
Yay.
This is just a win.
All right,
Winner.
relax your tight.
Change my
Let's go.
vote.
Relax.
All right, so
Ben?
Ben, how do you feel about immigration?
My professional opinion. We should keep immigration relaxed.
I can see where this one's gonna go.
Oh God.
Ford.
Titan.
All right, nice.
Yeah, I
Ivan?
think we should tie to immigration as well.
All right,
Oh God.
Jacob.
I'm gonna say Titan as well.
Oh my
All
God.
right, Nick.
But not like punish them. Not like punish them. Okay.
Nick. Shh, Jacob.
Jacob's a Republican.
Wait, what are the options? Hold on.
You want
let's
to relax immigration or tighten it?
relax.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do
Nick.
I'm doing Tightened,
All
which
right,
means
that's four.
Susie
That's-
can only make it 3 to
that's
4.
What about Susie?
Yep,
Susie.
So it's gonna be Titan, just based on how the vote's looking.
Alright,
because
let's
Correct.
Susie wouldn't be
Hey,
able to
I'm
change
just
the
going.
vote.
I read the description. Okay, it seems like relaxing, but if it's causing problems, obviously we'd want to tighten it just a little bit.
Okay. This is our election promises.
Oh, okay.
So now
How
we have our.
we were gonna make a more democratic society, and now we're just becoming.
now we have a
USSR.
term focus. Are we focusing on health, education, law and enforcement, or military?
I'd say we have 2 rounds of voting for this.
2 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
it-
see what are the top 2 and then go again.
And then yeah.
So Ben, you start.
Okay.
You can, if you want to sit down and read all of it, you can.
Mhm.
Sure. I'm gonna read all of it.
I really don't know what I want to do here.
This
I've
one's
read
tough.
them all.
This because
I've
they
read-
all require focus.
I've read them all. I've read them all, and
Military
I think I
could be really funny.
I'm either gonna go. Okay. How about? Well, I'm either gonna go health or education. I'm gonna go education.
Okay, that's a vote for education.
I think we should do a Rumberg War route.
I hate that round. It sucks.
I've never done it before.
I lost really badly. Our Air Force was shot out of the sky, and we lost all of our troops.
know. That sounds funny.
I was murdered
Jacob, what's
in
your-
my cabinet.
Who's next?
That's
Ford.
Ford.
Did Ben vote?
Military.
Wait, what did Ben
said,
vote?
Ben said education.
Okay.
Ford vote for
I'm-
military.
I'm a wuss.
Ivan?
Law enforcement.
That's
All right.
Vote for law.
Jacob?
Education.
Education.
Okay. Nick?
Pressman.
Education.
Education.
I say health.
Health.
So Susie, you decide which one goes to the second round.
Yeah.
Health, law, military, or if you just vote education, education wins.
Well, no. Well, actually, yeah, I guess.
It'd be 1 to
was-
4 to 1.
I
to
want
1.
to. I want to do a second round though.
Yeah, we
It
should.
wouldn't be necessary if education got another vote.
Education is like already the winner,
Health.
sort of.
Law
So-
or military. Or
Yeah.
education.
Or health. Health. Everything else got a
Susie,
vote.
what are you voting?
I was thinking education or health, and I'm leaning more education right now.
Looks like
Let's
we're on
go.
education.
I want to do a second round of voting.
We could do, Ivan. We could do a second round.
What do you even
Hell
vote for?
yeah.
Because there's only
Because,
one.
Ivan,
like,
right now it's 4 education,
I
to 3
know.
everything else. So
It does. It
I
does
know,
not, it does
sadly.
not mean that there's going to be a second round of voting. I'm sorry. It's redundant.
Or Ivan.
Very sad. Very sad.
Ivan, I could
I
host a
would've
second
voted.
round.
I would have voted health over
Rest in peace,
education.
healthcare.
2 weeks have passed since we won the election, and now I was about to be sworn in as the 4th president of Swordland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rain. The die was cast. die was cast, and this is where my story begins. In the distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future awaited me there. I looked at my family, my son, my daughter, Frank and Dina, were next to my wife, Monica, her eyes glimmering with pride. Then I turned toward the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my cabinet. As my thoughts slowly faded, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court was waiting for me.
That's once again, Jack.
Jack's first line.
Oh shit. The time for the oath has come.
Let me just make sure I'm recording. I am ready.
I can see it.
Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of the President of Swordsland,
And to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend.
and to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the people in the Constitution of the Republic of Swordsland.
You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President.
Why did you sound southern for a second?
Thank you, Mr. Hawker. Dear citizens of Swordsland, the crowd looked very eager to listen to me.
Woo.
The current dire situation, we are enduring economic hardship like never before, and today our nation is falling apart. Our people, we, suffer in this dire situation. Our workers are no less productive than a decade ago. Our capable minds are no less inventive. Our products and services no less requested than they were last week, last month, or last year. I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty.
Yay!
Change now, not in the next decade, or years. Today. Hundreds of thousands of sheep were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, burden all at the same time. I waved at the crowd, which made the crowd cheer louder. Took a long look at the people of Swordsland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify that it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car, motorcade.
And then you got your head blown off like JFK.
The presidential state car was a jet black Cadilla, the flags and Swordsland, and the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. This is you, Ford.
Hello, Mr. President.
Still under the effect of speech I made, hearing my new title made me smile.
If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Serge, your new driver.
It's a pleasure.
The pleasure is all but mine.
He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door, gesturing inside as I entered the car.
We will be heading towards the palace.
The motorcade began to move. On the way, Serge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. Minutes passed, found myself lost in thoughts again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly made a gesture towards the new, now closer palace.
Isn't it a beauty, the Maroon Palace?
He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-colored domes. It was so bright that I had to look away.
Every time I look at it, I am reminded of my duty to this nation.
It is in good hands now.
I'm sure of that, Mr. President.
The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, stopped in front of the doors. Serge got out of the car and opened the door for me.
Have a great day, Mr. President. A Morgnau Westcor.
He referred to the famous Swedish phrase from the times of the Revolution, "Et morgen Westcor, vectern sista," which meant, "Morning will come, victory is close." Vectern sista. I made my way upstairs to the extravagant corridors of the palace. Marble and engraved wood finishes decorated the interior. My footsteps echoed through the colossal halls. The guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. And now we will begin the fucking shit. So this is the map of Swordsland. Everything that's colored in right here, from this region to up here, is Swordsland. Down here is Lesbia. Over here is Wellen. Up here is Rumberg. Up here is Agnola. And then Vasglin, which I don't even remember being a part of the game.
Might be an update.
We'll now start our first briefing. We get some logistical reports. These are kind of just for understanding what's going on. I'm not really going to read them, just giving general understanding of the staff reports. Increase the chances of military confrontation between Eastern and Cobra. Okay. We're going to take a briefing on the current political situation. Peter Vectorn arrived a couple minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. And this is you, Ford.
He did it. He did it, Tenton. We won finally. All those years with our noses to the grindstone paid off.
Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past month had put a damper on his usual rakish charm. But today he was looking and acting much more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top 2 buttons of his shirt.
Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you? I thought you would appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes.
He gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband.
But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory.
Let's celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us. An Elroy Maroon 30-year-old. I opened the expensive bottle of whiskey and poured it into 2 glasses. I prepared. The exquisite smell filled the room immediately.
In 1924, that was my freshman year, also the year after the revolution. Very difficult times, to be honest, but this smells like heaven.
The future awaits, Peter. Toast. I raised my glass and toasted with Peter before smelling the whiskey, taking a sip. The sweet vanilla tone combined with an oaky taste developed in a lingering smokiness. Peter really seemed to be enjoying himself.
What a taste. This is how we should start all meetings, Anton.
We wouldn't get much done. Remember the last administration?
Yeah, but we are different. All they did was enjoy the privilege.
I hope it won't be the case for my cabinet. He suddenly looked a bit anxious on his chair.
I assure you it won't. We will not make the same mistakes.
I sure do hope so. The door swung open and Lucian Gallin, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick and graceful movements.
Gentlemen,
The tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock.
Damn, you are exactly on time.
hello, Peter.
Lucian then turned towards me. He very slightly bowed his head. Lucian, how are you?
I am ready and able, sir.
Lucian spoke in a soft, clipped tone that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed.
Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of the Swordfish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the Constitution, but they blame the system for their problems.
People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard's Circus are becoming more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change. The last government did not.
Franz Richter, leader of the Reformers, believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I'll move into the details of their demands shortly.
We need to listen to the people. We want to serve this country.
Exactly what we campaigned for. A true change that will move the country forward.
Well, we will need many allies against the old guard in the government. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the Reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Franz Richter.
The USP reformists aren't wrong to agree that we need change. but we should be in charge.
Can't let the PFJP leadership take the spotlight on this. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on the constitutional amendments.
I support the reformists. We need a proper balance of power in this country.
I agree. We can't ignore the winds of change, after all.
Well, the old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution, and Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges will have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break.
The court also has the final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, cannot even change it.
We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly.
I agree. The old guard won't like this, though.
A comprehensive reform that would make the reformists happy would mean maintaining a balance between all branches of government. Which means removing your absolute veto as well. The reformers demand that all loopholes in the Constitution are closed.
We can't underestimate this situation.
We can figure it out. Our party still holds 130 out of 250 seats in the assembly. We've got the power.
Jack.
However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes. And we need a simple majority in the Supreme Court, which is 6 votes there.
Fuck, I already read that.
After we have settled on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get the 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we'll need to reach out to the other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with the Reform Committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible.
We will write a more democratic constitution with the reformists. Because these two options are fucking difficult.
That's what we've been preparing for initially. Don't forget that promise is what got us elected.
Key thing here will be strengthening the power of the Assembly, which we already lead with a majority.
Yes, the divisions of power need to be rebalanced for a better Swordland.
According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for their discussion.
Lucian opened his dossier.
First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Second, the President's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes.
I have no problems with these clauses. Let's work with the reformists.
I have...
Yes, sir. We will form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all the stakeholders in the Assembly and the Court for a new constitution.
By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want.
Lucian took notes.
Another important point, we must be aware of the Lotharberg Group. The oligarchs convened under this organization to influence economic policies. Conrad led it for a long time before falling ill, and the new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections.
Well, considering that we decided to go for planned economy, I will enter a dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic.
A wise approach. It's good to understand and see if we can reach a middle ground.
Lucian looked at Peter.
As far as I know, Marcel Cornoti has some strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return.
I'm aware of Mr. Karani's wide network. That could come in handy.
We just need to be careful with him. He looks like the lesser evil, but it could very quickly turn out to be the other way around.
We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do not have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. We do have some room, sorry.
With the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff.
I would advise the same. The budget should be maintained, and we should refrain from confronting the military too directly. Defense Minister Iosef Lankea, that's a fun name, is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger, a fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two, since they're clearly of different minds.
We act strongly enough against the military. Both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucian. We need to tread carefully here.
Lucian looked at his watch.
Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon, sir. I will be keeping in touch.
See you both at the next meeting.
Lucian and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising far away in the horizon. Oh shit.
Ooh.
So let's just take a quick look at our country overview. These are the current situations in our law, court backlog, limited women's rights, the Bluish problem, that's immigration, judicial rivalry, some human rights issues, freedom of press, that's a good thing. The green is issues that are not issues, they're current situations that are positive. These are bad situations, and then kind of in the middle. This is our economy. It's,
Jesus Christ.
not the greatest.
The very shittiest economy. Like I
What
said,
do you mean? Red means good, right?
baby, Jack.
Red
If
means
you're
communist.
Remember
I was
at Boys?
about to say that. Red
Jack-
is for communism.
Do you remember at Boys State? Do you remember at Boys State that we had that town prom and it was so bad?
How can I forget?
Yeah, there was for our town prom at Boys State. One of the first suggestions for our whole town was to set the town on fire. That's how bad.
Red
Oh,
means
and-
good.
Oh, also, I meant to mention. Hold on, I meant to mention, Jack. I ran into one of your counselors for Boys State or something.
Which one?
Oh, I don't remember the name, though.
Was
That's
it
really
the tall,
helpful.
thin one, or the shorter, chubbier one?
It was the tall, thin one.
Okay. I don't remember. I think his name was Ian.
Simon Hall, Gus Manager, and Lilas Graff were about to arrive at the White Room for our scheduled economy meeting. This was the room in the Maroon Palace where all important meetings were held. Two assistants arrived first carrying a heavy projector. They stood with it by the door, waiting for the ministers to enter. From the hallway, I heard Lilas Graff's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments.
Do you really think that such an economically advanced area is more in need of investment than Agenland?
I think the pronunciation's Ainlin, yeah.
Agenland?
The G is not enunciated. Lilas, my interior minister, strode in. She was clad in shades of brown and beige. The only spot of color, a bright yellow near a star on her necklace. Gus followed closely behind.
Don't be an idiot, Lilas. What about the unemployment crisis? The Greystar, Whole Sword, and Jealous Land regions are going through. These areas are our economic heartland.
Gus curled his hands into fists. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hadn't changed since his days of the Alfonso administration, but neither had his reputation for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simon Hall quickly stepped between the two ministers without looking at either of them. He cleared his throat.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
I'm very well and motivated, Mr. Rain. It seems our ministers are feeling the same.
Just as expected. How is it going, Gus and Lilas?
It's looking good, sir, although there seems to be a lot of work that requires attention. Especially about lifting people out of poverty, certainly a challenge.
I'm feeling fairly confident about the current state of affairs. We've already begun reconstructing local governments and introducing new safety measures. Off to a good start.
Good. I'm confident in your abilities.
That is appreciated.
We will not disappoint you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I would like to show you the latest economic situation.
Simon pulled a silk handkerchief out of his pocket and briefly wiped his glasses.
My staff and I have comprehensively analyzed every aspect of it.
He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both who were now visibly struggling to hold up the heavy projector.
Oh, you can put that there.
He pointed below the painting of President Sill. The assistants placed the projector next to the table and installed the white screen on the wall.
Leave now. Thank you and please leave now.
The assistants left the cabinet room. I was reminded that Simon had never had quite the way with people, but this facility with numbers had made him the most sought-after economic specialist in Swordham. Simon started looking for his slides. He always carried documentation around with him. Wait. Laz leaned to the table and spoke.
Oh, Simon, what happened to the new police station construction in Estord?
While going through this briefcase, he paused for a moment to answer.
It got stalled due to a government property boundary issue. I had been meaning to look at it.
I can take a look at that one. Estord needs all the security help it can get.
Sure. More time for me to spend on analyses.
His eyes glittered when he finally found the slides he was looking for.
There have been some developments about the Swordish Ren losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank.
The recession of 51 put enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was a significant cause of concern for our administration.
What would you like to know about the current economic situation?
What is our GDP and debt situation?
Our current GDP is 310 billion Swordish Ren, and the national debt is 427 billion.
It's still hard to fathom that we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. The past 3 years were tough.
What is our unemployment and inflation rate?
Unemployment has skyrocketed and is now at a staggering 16%, and the inflation is at a relative high of 7%.
Unemployment is increasing crime and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. Inflation isn't helping our average citizen either.
What's the status of the recession?
The economy has been in recession of about negative 6% in the past year. The average GDP has dropped from SR 15,454 per capita to SR 10,359 from 1951 to now.
SR is sort of shrunk.
Yeah. This administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better.
We have all the information needed. Let's move on to the economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stack in front of him in an orderly manner and took a final look at his notes before clearing his throat.
As you can see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. The excessive privatization program of Alfonso left us a large budget surplus, which we can use to stabilize the crisis. The primary subject we need to settle on is what general path we will take in return. Solonomics-based nationalization happened in the 30s, and Alfonso's privatization began during the end of the 40s. What will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to promote a planned economy to stop the recession. To be frank, I still don't think this was a good idea.
We shouldn't go back to Solonomics. It is the reason of the recession.
Self-sufficiency will help us in tough times.
Simon ignored the statement. What are the downsides of a planned economy?
It is clear that most of the state corporations and other government-controlled systems are less efficient.
The government of Sorland and its institutions or corporations have a solid history of delivering.
The structural problems of Solonomics were going to lead to a recession according to the predictions at the time anyway. Either way, even if we pick one of the doctrines, we retain the option to make economic choices on a case-by-case basis.
That is, however, not recommended in my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan.
Finally, something we can both agree on. How do I pronounce the names?
Lilas, or I think Lilas is also technically a way to pronounce it.
I said Lias.
Yeah, maybe go Lias. Lilas.
There is another important point which has a direct impact on our economy. Superpowers. We might have won the election, but I am still against aligning ourselves with the superpowers.
Economically speaking, we aren't as tied to United Quintana as we are to Arcasia, so a decision to align to the east is much more difficult to accomplish.
We must be very cautious. There are schemes being devised about Sorland. We cannot give in to their wants now or in the future, otherwise our country will turn into a pawn. I want you to reconsider your promise to align with the United Quintana.
I have made a promise to the people of Swordland. I won't back down.
Bitch.
I must also insist nothing good will come out of siding with the United Cortana. Aligning with them may make us adversaries to Arcasia, a much more influential nation, in my view.
Although, not for the same reasons. That's two things we are agreeing on today, Gus. When the time comes, I hope you will make the right decision. For our own good.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mr. Wishy will be in charge of informing you on those types of foreign policy decisions. We must first decide on our internal economic plan.
Simon put forward a legal document outlining the possibilities with both economic doctrines listed. The cabinet members looked at me. We have to thank Saul for his planned economy for the boom. It clearly shows the success of the system.
Precisely the reason why we should stick to the old system. State planning and regulation both showed great success in the 30s.
Only for a limited time, until even Tarquin Sol himself discovered the limits of the system. The slowdown began during his rule, remember?
What's on our long-term economic schedule?
Picking a construction company, trade relations, tax reform, and welfare privatization or nationalization initiatives would be some of them.
We must choose wisely and remember that a free market economy in all forms is the future of the world.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Let's move on. Also, is everyone okay with going till 10? 9:40 at the max.
9:40 works better, yeah.
Alright,
cool. What are your final thoughts then, Mr. President?
Let me try to read Nick's line. Critical institutions must remain in state control. We must be fully responsible for delivering services.
You could be, and it wouldn't be negative, but either way you make the choices. So, what will our general economic plan promote?
Planned economy!
Not sure if we made the right decision here.
Now that there is clarity on which direction we are heading, I will work on a good plan accordingly. This concludes our meeting. At our next gathering, we will talk about the upcoming infrastructure investment plan.
Now that the economic direction is taken, the minister is dispersed for lunch at the Moon Palace. Thank you, you fuckers, for choosing probably one of the most difficult paths in the fucking game for the economy. I blame Ivan for even pushing planned.
Yeah. See,
Well,
it was
look, okay.
I
You want
would've
me to be honest? I looked at my characters and saw they were mostly all communists. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say it.
Alright.
Fucking Leon Molotov, Emmerich Segels,
I
and
love communism.
I'm not gonna judge you too much for picking the most difficult thing, but seriously, I don't know why you wanted to.
Alright, so
Ivan.
this is kind of a
It's-
binary decision here, but the Ministry of Economy has put forward 2 bold plans for mega infrastructure projects. This would help the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take up some portion of our budget, but it could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. Do we invest in a mega infrastructure project, or do we reject the plans altogether?
invest.
I don't know.
We have an I don't know, a yes.
Actually, me, Asher, and Jack shouldn't vote. In my opinion,
Why? Because we know the better of the outcome.
we know all the outcomes for those. We can
Yeah,
write
I've
stuff.
already said it. I wanted to invest.
All right, let's invest.
Don't invest.
Too bad. All right, so we'll do this so we can bring back. All right, here we are. Lucian and Peter arrived at my office to talk about recent developments in the media strategy. They both took their seats across from me. Lucian put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucian and nodded. That's you, Jack.
Hold on, give me a sec.
I'm gonna drink some Sunny D while you get a second. That's some good Sunny D right there.
Balloon.
Balloon.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Oh fuck.
I've just received further information from the interior about the sudden fire that broke out at Holsworth State University archives nearby.
This is not a subject of my interest.
Excuse me. Let's just move on then.
That's you, Ford. Ford.
Forward.
Ford.
He's dead.
Sorry. More importantly, Lucian mentioned that Marcel the Coronti contacted him.
The Corontis have always been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Swortland. Marcel Coronti was no exception. He's the oldest son of Conrad Coronti, the industrialist media mogul who founded the HOS, the richest man in the entirety of Swortland. Lucian turned to me.
He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President.
What does he want?
After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration.
They're a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Swordland Today newspaper, the Swordish Broadcasting Corporation, and
Sorry.
the S.
Which means it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting.
Sounds like there's some potential there.
There's definitely potential, a potential that could go both ways. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to media.
I'm no media expert, but Lucian made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday.
There are 2 ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influence it, which has clear advantages. The other one is keeping it independent.
It's kind of actually an interesting decision here.
Clear advantages.
Let's say that the media is a tool to be used.
Aw.
I agree. Media plays a huge role in adapting public opinion towards our views and policies, while helping us avoid damage from scandals or mistakes. While I do acknowledge that this will sound a bit harsh, I certainly believe that our perspective, knowledge, and experience allows us to have superior judgment compared to the average sort of citizen.
I share your opinion.
I concur. Even if we don't use it, we should be able to have control over it.
You both are aware of my certain expertise with public opinion swaying. I will make sure the media is on our side.
2 knocks were heard at the door. Please, come in. Livia Suno, my new secretary, entered the office. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room
God.
to my desk. She spoke with a
Oh, that-
slight lilt in her voice.
Oh, is that me? Okay. Excuse me, Mr.
Oh,
President.
that's me.
Who's
No,
Livia
mine's
Suno?
Research me.
Who has
the
Livia
pink.
Suno in their dialogue, like in the fucking list?
I do. Yeah,
Jacob.
I do.
Asher, you gave Livia to Jacob, and I gave it to Ivan.
Hey, Ivan.
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna strip that from Ivan and give that to
Hello.
Jacob. Actually, no. Jacob's been speaking a lot more than Ivan has because I hasn't had any lines. Ivan, you could be Livia.
Still Ivan's in the list
Okay.
regardless.
Excuse me, Mr. President? Mr. Gallade's secretary has been calling me and wanting to relay a message. Alpha Conti, the new CEO of HOS Conglomerate, is on the line for Mr. Gallade.
Well, the ball is in our court now.
I need to collect myself.
Breathe.
Would you like me to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to? Fuck. Would you like to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to?
I'll talk to him. Connect the line to my office.
Aye, sir. Connecting the call to line 1.
We're gonna do this with Disco Elysium. Livia left the
My
room.
new
and the
favorite
phone
character
started
is Livia
ringing.
Suno.
Picked up.
Ring, ring.
No, it's Marcel Caranti.
Who's Karanti?
Yeah, who is
That's
Caranti?
me. That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Hello, Marcel.
God, I. Greetings, Mr. Rain. I know your time is valuable, so I will not waste any of it. I was just elected CEO of HOS. My strategy of running of this conglomerate will be different than my father's approach. This is why I'm offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to formally invite you to my resort near Hun Riot for a meeting to discuss the details.
Thank you for your offer. I'm interested in the meeting.
You will not be disappointed, I promise. Well then, I will let you return to your packed schedule. See you later, Mr. President.
See you later, Mr. Caranti. I hung up the phone. Lucian.
I'll set things up right away. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month.
It's settled then. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool.
Lucian's getting out his...
It appears we're done for today. We'll continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time.
See you soon, gentlemen. Lucian and Peter gathered their documents and promptly left my office. We were already getting the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous ones. We're so fucked. Our team has no capabilities whatsoever in discussing things. Alright, this is kind of important to handle the campaign finance bill. I'll read this out and then we can collectively decide on whether or not we want to sign or veto it. The criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes in the won in the general election by a political party. The new criterion shall be the portion of seats won by a political party in the assembly. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500 Ren per member of the assembly. This results in doubling of the USP election budget and a slight increase in other parties in the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below the 10% election threshold. If you guys want a summary of what the hell this just said, is this would the election budget at the moment for all other parties is kind of relatively fair. The USP would have a lot more spending budget with this bill, but all other parties would have fucking nothing.
So
Signed.
parties that are in the assembly, like which is like Congress, for example, parties that are already in office
Legislative.
get more budget, but parties
Yeah, sure,
that
sorry.
aren't don't get any funding,
So
which
it-
makes it a lot more difficult to get
so
into government.
So yeah, the USP holds 30, the PFJP holds 70, the NFP holds 40, and the Independents hold 10.
Oh.
So we are going to be polling whether or not we're signing this or vetoing it.
It says sign.
I'm on the fence. I don't know.
For
On one
Okay,
hand,
let's
it
go down. Let's go top
yeah,
down.
let's go. Ben, how do you feel?
I feel like we could. I mean, this kind of gives us. This will give us our more budget. So your party more budget. I mean, since this is my party is like the opposition, I would say no. But
When we're
So
making
I'm gonna say-
when we're making these decisions, like for our for Anton's decisions, vote based on the discretion of yourself, not your characters.
I say
What do you think Anton should do?
What do you think Anton should do? Not what do you think your character
I
should do for
okay.
Anton?
I say that Anton should veto. I say veto.
So that's a veto.
No.
That's a veto.
Fine.
That's a sign.
What did Ford say?
Ford said veto.
Ivan says sign.
This
Okay.
is sign.
I'd say veto.
We have a veto. That's 3.
Crespin?
Crispy.
All right, he skipped.
Ooh, this is an interesting choice. Veto or
Come on.
sign?
Join with us.
Ivan, why did you vote to sign it?
Just because I think that
Memes?
not exactly memes. I just kind of feel like, you know, how I've been just like going full on like communist. I just think our party should just have more power. Simple as.
I see what you're saying. I'm gonna vote sign.
Oh fucking damn it.
Salt to Susie.
Susie has the final choice.
Veto?
Say veto.
Alright, 4 to
It's a
2
veto.
veto.
Hey.
Let's look at the update for that. Let's go out. Let's see the radical. Unfair campaign finance bill crushed. A new bill that further expands the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the GNA, and was later vetoed by President Rain. Rain deserves credit for crushing the undemocratic proposal, even though it came through his own party, would have benefited himself. Bill sought to change the rules of eligibility for public funds, yada yada yada. Rain did a good job. Alright, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming to a comprehensive decision that made sense.
Yay, I'm a smart
Democracy.
politician.
The view towards the Marquean Sea from the Latvian was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittingly named the Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying the luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project. Half an hour had already passed since starting the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not have even a chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. Looking at the view from the windows, I let my mind drift for a couple seconds. Simon's voice brought me back onto the ongoing conversation.
Who's gonna read since Nick's gone?
Is Nick gone?
Oh, I'm
gone?
back.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
I'm back. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways to achieve this is through infrastructure projects.
Nod.
On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail network between Holsword and Latchaven.
Lila started talking as soon as Simon took a breath.
On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of a proper highway connection between Lockhaven and Arbory. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous, but also difficult to traverse.
The citizens and their demands matter the most.
Demands are just. The dire situation of the road infrastructure between Lockhaven and Arbory can't be neglected.
The return on investment will be low. Our concern should be economic growth.
It is not the business people. Oh, it is not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk.
What really matters, though, is that we can accomplish something tangible in your first economic act.
We must improve the economy of the nation and bring it out of recession.
Therefore, I define two important projects for your attention: the H3 Highway Project and the L1 High-Speed Railway Project.
Mr. Hall repositioned himself on the chair to take a more comfortable posture.
The Ministry can only support one project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So, which one would you want to hear about first?
The H3 Highway Project.
The H3 project aims to improve the abysmal state of the road network in the Agland region bordering Agnolia. The area is home to several million Agno Sordish and Sordish who feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections to and from Agland. The mayor of Arvery, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure.
He told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. The increased traffic is causing trouble for people commuting in and out of the region.
We can't leave the request of Eric Neal, a party member, unanswered.
I know him personally and can vouch that he is a trustworthy member of our party.
Let's take a more detailed look at the upgrade proposal.
Lilas was pointing at last stream. The H3 highway route starts here and leads to
Me.
Glenkirk. Sorry, oh fuck, I'm sorry, I totally just read your line.
H3 highway route starts here and leads to Lindbergh. There, it goes all the way to Arvery. As a result, the road network towards the Agnolian capital port will improve sustainability.
She paused and leaned forward in her chair.
Saw the central government continually neglecting Swardish dominated regions when I was mayor. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence?
We should put the Agno-Sordish citizens be respected as swords like all of us.
I am for all sorted citizens without separation or preference. Therefore, it's getting blurred. Therefore, we should think about the country overall.
It has to be pointed out that the highway would be less beneficial in the near term.
I have to disagree. It would increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. Our citizens will be quite pleased if we successfully accomplish this. Besides, if we enter trade with Agnolia, they would see the investment as a positive sign.
Let's hear about the other project.
Your predecessor, Alfonso, has failed to deliver on this campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start the construction of the groundbreaking railway project. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today. As many other countries adopt this new electric engine technology to power up their trains, we fall one step behind.
News about the new electric trains in the United Cortana has piqued the business interest. They too want to transport resources and material from Holsord to Lochevin with great speed and efficiency.
This could also empower the businesses and bring investments.
This should be our priority: growth and development, optimization.
Our plan is to upgrade the old L1 line from Holsword to Lochevin. It will transform to a high-speed rail.
Look at the map. Gus was pointing at Holsworth while Simon was looking attentively.
The planned construction starts right here at the capital. It will go to Enrica first, and then connect to Gelsword, after which it will reach Lochevin, our economic powerhouse. The L1 will significantly boost the economy on the newly linked cities and even the rural areas between Lochevin is our primary port, so the goods unloaded there will be transported to Holsword much faster.
I believe this would benefit the businesses of Swordland as a whole.
for wealthy and middle-class citizens of these regions, but not for the poor dears who wouldn't be able to afford the increased ticket prices.
The mayor of Enrique Curtin West also requests the project be prioritized.
Businessmen in the region will be very content, which increases investments and employment. Therefore, I will recommend the L1 high-speed rail project.
I've settled on a decision.
Excellent.
It's,
What will your final choice be, Mr. President?
It's not my call. This is a poll. I'll start with Ben.
Speed rail.
Start with Ben. What do you want to do?
I'm going to say this is a tough. I'm gonna say this is a tough one, but I'm just gonna say probably the highway.
Highway. Okay, that's one for highway. Now, who's next?
Ford.
Ford. What'd you say, Ford?
The rail.
The railway. So
I
that's
want
one-
Rail.
that's
I
one
want the
less.
richer to get richer.
Okay, so that's
Jacob?
Votes for the rail as well.
Jacob. What do you?
The
vote?
workers must go between cities.
I guess I'll vote for the highway because
So that's 2-2. That's a tie still.
Nick?
I'm going to say the L1
That's railway.
high
That's a fucking
speed.
close
High
one.
speed.
I'm also going railway.
That's 4 railway, and I think
Go
Or
on
Susie
highway.
is destroyed.
so that's 3-4.
4-3.
That's
railway.
one high-speed railway project, baby.
Or Susie's always at the bottom of all the votes.
It's
Yeah.
they should start from the bottom at some
Her-
point.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
we should start at the bottom and sometime we go up.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Susie, if unless someone abstains from the vote, Susie does have the tiebreaker.
hey,
The
we didn't get to
negotiations will begin. Oh,
I didn't get
the
to read mine.
negotiations will begin in the middle of this year. You will be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. The ministry estimates that the entire construction will finish in 2 years if every step going forward is executed successfully.
Good. Is there anything else?
This should be all, Mr. President.
See you soon, Mr. Rain.
Have a nice day, Mr. President.
Evening settled on the beautiful coastline of Lashfan. Alright, got time for like 1 or 2 more encounters. Let's do it. There we go. Look at the railway. Oh shit.
What?
Alright.
Decided to take my fidget toy, a balloon, but it is like the loudest thing I could have
It's
picked.
too late to like change decisions, but what did you want to do, Asher, if you were to actually do this?
Based on our run, like what we're trying to do, I would have went with highway because we seem like we're going a very socialist manner. But yeah, I mean this is where we are. Invest in Arcasian company. You guys can fuck off. I'm gonna make my decision.
No, how dare you invest in a
Whoa.
capitalist
You guys
country?
are
What
not
the
allowed to
fuck?
control me at all points.
I think it'll allow us to lobby for our communist constitution.
Yeah, that's what
Nice.
I at least want to have some advantages here, guys.
I've been waiting for a while.
We're already in a
What's the
really
fun
tough
in
spot. We're in a really tough spot as is. I just finished buttoning my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The presidential guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball is a 3-decade-old tradition breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there will be no turning back. Suddenly, Dina hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elegant braid, woven through the ribbons. Jack, you're Dina, right?
Yeah, Jack is.
Papa, Mama told me it's time to go.
Hello, darling. I am ready. Where is your brother?
I think Frank is still upstairs.
He shrugged. It's almost time to leave. The big boat is starting in less than an hour. Darling, Frank, it's time. Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing essentially elegant beige sheath.
Please talk. Do
Short-
that voice for Anton's lines now.
all
Yes.
those years, she stayed by my side. Now we were About to begin the most challenging chapter of our lives.
Nick, you're Monica, I think.
Yeah.
How do you do, Mr. President?
I kiss
Is
her
this
hand.
what I sound like with a feminine voice?
Yeah.
She extended a
That's
glass
what we
hand.
sound
I
like.
raised it to my lips. Now where the hell is Frank? Frank!
I hate how it's a Frank with
I'm
a
here, I'm
C.
here.
Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill. Don't make me wait again.
I'm here now, aren't I?
I'm not joking, son. Jack.
Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on?
She pointed the prisoner's guards at the door of our house. Yes, Solin's most important family needs protection. Extra protection.
Look, alright, babe. Let's just make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family.
I only understood Papa in that sentence.
Like I held Dina's hand together, flanked by the cars. We walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly, turned towards me.
Dad, I really have to go. Can I stay home instead?
Don't make me angry, Frank. Frank
Like, it goes into a sitcom anytime
Fine.
his family shows
I'm
up.
sorry.
Oh god.
And over
make
with,
me-
Frank. Let's go. The car is waiting for us.
The presidential guard showed us the way into the red blue lights flashed around us. Surge, my driver, ushered us into an armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window in deep thought.
Anton, what are you thinking about?
Nothing. Nice car, isn't it?
I know you have a lot on your mind, but you deserve to relax tonight. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you.
Can someone tell me
Jack.
that?
I'm going to fix everything.
Frank rolled his eyes.
I know you will, honey.
This means a great deal to me. After what seemed like a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Surge rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition.
Lord.
We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive.
Nod. Surge opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garish banners that nearly made me look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Swordsman elite, streamed inside at the building.
Good luck out there, Mr. President.
I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. Oh fuck, he's gonna... Jack, play this woman.
Mr. President, Mr. President! Do you plan on working together with the opposition parties and expect constitutional reforms?
The night is for celebration. I'm not gonna talk about my policies now.
Does that mean you don't plan on working together? Do you think you're going to come around with the other parties?
We will do our job no matter what.
One more question. One of your first acts as president was to veto campaign finance law that would have deprived small parties of public funds while increasing those channeled to your own. Are we seeing the beginning of a new, more egalitarian administration?
What does that mean? I wonder.
I've had enough with your questions. Guys, please. That's enough, man.
That's enough, ma'am.
Said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me with a gun. He entered the sticker.
Hey man, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna shove this.
Entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people.
You heard the reporter shot in the background.
There are the most beautiful family in Swordland.
Who
You know, like the SpongeBob close-ups where they're like really disgusting. That's my picturing after he said that.
Oh god.
Wait, why does Frank look like Peter a little bit?
That's a good question. Alright,
Uncle Peter!
Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you.
You two are going faster than I am getting wiser.
That's good.
Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter?
Maybe not. After all, I'm sticking with you.
Nice. Peter. Evelyn?
Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us, shook our hands with a firmness that bellied her delicate features.
I do the impression of a female voice for Evelyn.
Sure.
Why not?
Congratulations, Anton! I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning.
You didn't change your voice at all.
Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna punch you.
Thank you. We both worked hard to
Right.
make it happen.
I'm there. You know you did. You deserved the position.
Tonight, we reap the rewards. Hey, baby.
We could stop by getting some drinks.
You read my mind.
Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us each took a glass of champagne.
Monica, how are you? You barely said a word.
To have this roller coaster ride over with. Of course, now the real work begins.
Ah yes, managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries.
Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of women throughout Swordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton?
That'll like whose voice can get higher.
Mine.
Absolutely, we'll work together on it to achieve that.
Sounds like a bunch of kids screaming.
Peter suddenly
You
jumped
duck.
between us and tugged at my sleeve.
Mama, can we go? I want to see the ballroom!
Don't
We're
demand it.
having a conversation here, Dina. Goddamn, don't let me hit you.
Shut up.
She turned away in disappointment.
Alright, we need to go anyway. It's already time.
Left the lobby, made my way towards the ballroom. Inside,
What
we
about
were yet again
me?
surrounded by noisy crowd.
But why does
Like, other
everyone look
chicks
so
speak,
dead?
yeah. I feel so bad.
Shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, superficial, making speeches, jazz tunes.
Ooh, wait a second. Oof, that was tiring.
Oof.
If I have to shake another goddamn hand. Suddenly, a loud banging noise echoed
Mom.
from the outside. And another one.
Oh my
The
god.
musician stopped playing.
The eye opened
I
up.
was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Firework?
Your works.
Now it's a gun. Yes.
No,
the-
gunshots.
As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Shield Monica and kids.
Papa, what's happening?
I knew it. I never should have gone.
I
never
like how
should've
you
gone.
changed we to I.
I was like, I was watching a video and I just like follow.
Yeah, someone is Carl Greaser. Who's Carl Greaser?
Mr. President, are you alright?
I forgot who it is.
He just gets.
Carl Greaser was the head of Storage Police Force, running towards three more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as they made it to us, they saw we were unharmed and let out a big sigh of relief.
God.
Check the perimeter. He turned and quickly to his men.
Ball Johnson, bomb we'll bring them to the safe room. Worry, that situation is now under control. Please follow me.
This is a softer voice.
Probably followed Carl.
It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Peter made an attempt to break the silence.
What a fucking night.
say that again. Carl turned to us with serious face as we both were about to round a corner.
Sorry, I talk when I get nervous.
Peter! Peter! Shut up!
Peter!
Peter! Carl flipped the switch on the wall, panel it open, revealing
shut
a
up.
staircase, large reinforced steps, emergency lights, expensive looking leather sofas. Small security monitors, grainy footage of each room, there's a boardroom pantry containing provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So tell me, Carl, do I have clowns for a security force? As I raised my voice, he lowered his head in respect.
Sir.
Sorry for yelling, Carl. I'm just a bit nervous.
I completely understand, sir. I will personally conduct the investigation into our palace security force, and I can assure you, I will be relentless in dealing with incompetence.
Good. So what's going on? Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life every second. Felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver.
News. We are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with, and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police.
He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids.
On me, sir.
He gestured towards a more private corner of the room.
What we know so far, we have confirmed that 2 people have gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reasons to believe he was working alone. He fired 2 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet and will require investigation. The MP was identified as Bernard Sarkis.
Oof.
Aren't suck ass.
This is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems.
Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He turned to Evelyn and hear them trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was still trying to tend to Dean and Frank, paced the room mumbling. Should have stayed home. I'm gonna fucking smoke alone.
I wish I could talk. This seems an interesting
As I
thing.
continued smoking, a peculiar calm washed over me. I was gonna see this through at all costs. Crushed the cigarette nail on the ashtray. So, unless we have time for another one, that is the wrap for the night.
Yeah. Ben didn't
That's
even
the
get to
wrap.
do anything.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
valid.
Peter sounds like Kowalski.
I did something, but I wanted to be in that whatever that crazy
Ben's
scene with
lines
the
come
MT
up. They're
getting
just
shot.
at the moment we basically just had economic meetings and Lucian meetings.
Will Ben get a chance? Hopefully Ben will get a chance to.
Plenty.
Would it be
will
fun
I get?
if I had no words
are we gonna
whatsoever?
shift characters? 'Cause I just
Top
checked,
voice
I got-
acting for the night definitely is Ford as the security guy, 3rd
Absolutely.
place, Nick as Monica for 2nd, and Ivan as Livia for.
I
It's almost
I think I only understood like 2 things that Nick said in that one sentence, and it was
Nick as Monica makes me laugh so hard.